Worm, prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
Dragon Ball is at a crossroads, and people might argue that it has been at a crossroads since Dragon Ball Super. And there is a good argument for this because Dragon Ball has had a love affair with fanfics since, I would say, the Golden Frieza arc. And this is mainly due to the fact that we are getting concepts in Dragon Ball that for many years seem to be fan-made. Fan-made concepts like Evil Goku, Female Saiyans, Broly as canon, the list goes on. So I would say that throughout Dragon Ball Super there has been a healthy dose of this, but there has been a lot of brand new concepts that have been introduced that have nothing to do with any of the fanfic stuff that has come out. I mean, of course there may be some similarities, say like Dragon Ball Multiverse, but for the most part Dragon Ball Super keeps to its own domain. It has its own feel to it. And when you go look at the angels, you look at the multiple universes that are controlled by a god of destruction, an angel, a supreme Kai, all that, as well as the god transformations, as well as Ultra Instinct. You get characters like Hit. You know, those characters, those concepts are fairly unique when it comes to Dragon Ball, similarly to how Dragon Ball Z was, where Dragon Ball Z had a lot of unique concepts, a lot of unique characters. I mean, we did see some rehashing of abilities such as Majin Buu's regeneration. Every villain after Cell had to have some sort of regeneration, I guess, in Dragon Ball Z, because, I mean, that's what makes them powerful. You can take the blasts and come back from it. But at the same time, we did get some concepts in Dragon Ball Z that are so good that are being revisited now in Dragon Ball Super. And I would say that right now is a good time to have this discussion, seeing as how we're a couple days away from Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 3, and we are a couple months away from Dragon Ball Super Broly, which the fan base has wanted Broly as canon as much as they've wanted Evil Goku. I guess a lot of people have wanted Evil Goku before Goku Black, and a lot of people, I would say more people, have wanted Broly as canon, and it seems like that's going to be the case right now. And as the future of Dragon Ball comes into the spotlight, we are getting some reports that, or some, I guess, some evidence, someone's intuition that the future is going to be rehashing some of these older movies. Say Bardock, we're gonna get Bardock back, we're gonna get Fusion Reborn back, and the Dragon Ball Heroes Episode 3 that I mentioned earlier, it kind of pushes this narrative of fan-made storylines and characters clashing with each other. So it's up to you as the viewer, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. It's up to you to decide what you want from Dragon Ball. What do you want from the future of Dragon Ball? Are you okay with the direction that it's going? I've had this conversation recently with a few of my friends, and a lot of them just want Dragon Ball to go in a direction where they are kind of bringing back these older concepts, these older villains, and making them new. They want Janemba back. They want to see Bardock back. A lot of them want to see Bojack. They want to see concepts from GT. And when it comes to all that, personally for me, I think that as long as you continue with the Dragon Ball Super format, as long as you have Dragon Ball Super having these concepts that are being remade, as well as having brand new characters and brand new storylines being introduced, then I think you're fine. One of the most interesting characters in Dragon Ball Super is Hit for me. Hit has a huge storyline that we know nothing about. He has enough character and charisma, in my opinion, that he can pull off his own fan-made manga. He can pull off his own storyline, similar to how they made the Bardock movie. I could see them making a Hit movie, because I would like to know more about this character. His ability is unique enough where I want to see more of it. I think that that's a character that if he continued training, if he continued getting stronger, he could really become one of the most powerful characters in all of Dragon Ball, even to the point of rivaling such juggernauts as a hit. Maybe not Ultra Instinct Omen, because you'd have to preemptively try to figure out, Ultra Instinct's moves and try to hit him there, but at the same time, I do think that is possible. And Hit is in my opinion, it's a brand new character. I mean, yes, he is an assassin, but he is a brand new character that they've made for Dragon Ball Super, and he's probably one of the shining examples, in my opinion, of what could happen when it comes to creating a character that has never been seen before, has no references to the past, and how good a character can be. Of course, they've done a couple things in the manga, and how they, the anime did a little bit better, but the manga, where they kind of disrespected his character in a sense, because he was timed out very easily, but he still has a lot of potential, and that's what I'm saying. As long as you bring back Janemba, if you bring back Janemba, if you bring back these characters from the movies that are not canon and make them anew, then you should be adding a good amount of brand new characters into the mix. A lot of people were disappointed when Broly was announced, and it wasn't some mysterious, unknown ancient Saiyan we know nothing about, all this stuff. And an ancient Saiyan obviously is not going to pull enough people to the box office, that wouldn't go before. But Broly, hell, the fan base, even just the most non-hardcore fan of Dragon Ball, knows who Broly is for the most part. They know exactly who he is, they know exactly what he does, and they've probably played him multiple times on different video games. So I understand making him Broly, but I guess I was a little disappointed also that you've created a character, that you were creating this image of a character that was supposed to be this shining example of what a character similar to Hit with a brand new backstory and design could be, but then you made him Broly. I mean, it is what it is, and at this point now, I'm just excited to see what kind of storyline they've crafted for him, because the movie looks dope. It looks like it might take Dragon Ball in a further, deeper route, maybe more psychological, as opposed to some of the storylines that were in Dragon Ball Super. But at the same time, I would like to see some new characters added to the mix, but I don't mind them rehashing the old ones. Like I said, I was talking about my friends wanting Janemba. I want Janemba back too. I think that is probably my favorite character design. Do not mess with design. You can mess up with the storyline or his plot or his motives, how he became into being, because in Fusion Reborn, honestly, I didn't like how he existed, but he has the coolest design, I think, and I think bringing him back would be pretty awesome. Hell, I'm even a fan if they brought Cell back, and I like the fact that they brought Frieza back when I watched Resurrection of F, because I actually liked that movie, even though it wasn't as good, in my opinion, as Battle of Gods. But when you bring back Frieza so many times, it does get kind of repetitive, and that's where the fatigue sets in. That's why we're having this discussion a lot of the time, because people don't want repetitiveness when it comes to bringing these characters back. I mean, Frieza's back for the third time, essentially. He almost died on Namek, but he's basically back. He's just a reoccurring character, and he's the most popular. I highly doubt he's going to die in this movie. I think he's going to stay existing, but I do think that Frieza has it within himself to kind of pull the future Dragon Ball into more villainous direction. Say if he becomes a god of destruction or something, or he makes good on his promise to rule over the Omni King. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see his arc, kind of go that direction. But anyway, guys, I just want to ask you guys something. Do you want Dragon Ball to keep going in this more fan fiction direction? Remaking characters, taking old storylines, making them new? Or would you like Dragon Ball to go in a more original direction with brand new storylines and all that? I guess the really scary part about that last one is, if you make it too different, will it still be Dragon Ball? And I think so. I think that Dragon Ball is a concept that could be put to many mediums, many genres. In Cell, we had a horror aspect to it when we had Imperfect Cell. We've had this dystopian future when it came to the Trunks arc. Now we're fighting with gods in the Tournament of Power, or fighting again for the pleasure of gods, kind of like in the Gladiator tournament in the Tournament of Power. So I feel like Dragon Ball can go in many directions. So really the only way that you could lose Dragon Ball is if you stop calling it Dragon Ball. Anyway, guys, this is going to be Blackscape signing off.